Hut 1, Hut 2.
Yeah, and we're continuing a very good streak here. Is this our third week in a row or twice in a row?
This is
Two in a row.
I see.
I think
Well,
it's
let's keep up this streak. It's a good streak.
Well, he's going to be gone.
Well, I may be gone.
Chasing hurricanes.
A streak in your underwear.
Yeah.
All right. We are back.
We're back. It's August 29th.
And the weather's not quite as bad as it has been.
Oh, no, I'm calling it wonderful. It's like an 8-degree drop.
It's a brisk 95.
On highs. No, even more than that. No, about 8 degrees.
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's actually, I was out in the garage just walking through. I was like, this is getting tolerable again.
Yep. It's funny that we are celebrating that the high was 98.
Right.
No, really, we were celebrating it.
Right.
Everybody was like, oh, how nice.
Well, what frustrates me is, it always gets hot here in North Texas. Some years worse than others.
Yes.
This is a bad year. It's not the worst, even since I've been down here.
No, it's not the worst. Yeah.
And it gets hot in Florida, other places, and then you'll have a hot summer somewhere else, and all of a sudden everything is climate change related now.
Oh, yeah.
All this hot weather, no, it's just North Texas.
Well, and they also make you feel like a fool, right? Like, so we have, 20 days of 100 plus.
Right.
And they're like, really? You can't see that? You can't see that it's climate change? Are you that stupid that you don't know this is obviously climate change?
No, we've been through this before.
Totally.
This is nothing abnormal.
I know.
It's like every 4 or 5 years you'll have long stretches like this.
But I tell you what, it's been brutal. It's not been fun. I mean, we've had like 7 days of like 105 plus. I mean, that hurts.
Well, like I said, it happens, and it's starting to come back. It's starting to where they're blaming everything on climate change, and it's coming back to bite the Hawaii politicians who blamed climate change on the fires out there.
On the wildfire, yeah.
And it's coming out that, no, had nothing to do with that.
Nope.
All had to do with the power management and the power lines of the electric company.
And the forest management.
Yeah, and the forest management. Well, the power company, I believe, is responsible for maintaining all the brush around it.
Around the wires.
And around the wires.
And the poles.
And the poles. The poles were supposedly just tindering wood themselves.
Really?
They were so old and dry.
And not soaked in whatever that horrible chemical.
Yeah, creosote. That stuff's shitty. That stuff's nasty.
Oh, it is totally nasty. But you know what? Is it designed to keep it from rotting and drying out, right?
Correct.
Right. Well, there you go.
But the telephone poles had fallen over.
They were leaning.
Leaning
really far, from what I understand. Well, according to the radio, right?
Yeah, and they were having wind gusts of up to 80 miles an hour, which is never a good thing.
Which knocked the lines down.
It was a shit show, guys. I don't even think they know how the fire started, but anytime you have a dry situation where it's fueled by heavy winds, it's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, and when you don't manage your land properly because of the one-eyed newt may die.
The one-eyed newt.
Well, that's what they do. They said, well, we can't upset this native whatever it is, salamander. But we'll sacrifice. How many people have died now? There's still 300 people missing, I think.
No, they said over 1,000 missing.
No.
Unaccounted for, which it can mean anything, right? People on vacation, they do this, they do that. But they're saying 111, 115
so
maybe?
Could this fire have gotten hot enough to just make them disappear?
I don't know. I would imagine
there's
so.
Nothing left.
I would imagine so. They said that some of the bodies that they were, finding in their search and rescue, they went to kind of move them and they just crumbled.
Like Pompeii, right?
Yes.
That's what I mean. Because these people,
Pompeii. I think it is possible.
These people may never be found. They've just been incinerated to nothing.
That's correct.
Yeah,
I think that is possible.
That's crazy.
There's also stories where I just got a brain fart. There's a story where there were two cars in the middle of a field or a parking lot or something, and there's nothing around them within like 100 foot, and the cars were like, how did they catch fire?
Yeah, showering embers all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a point that they brought up because the houses around the cars The trees around the cars were green. Nothing was damaged except for the cars.
How weird.
So the grass didn't burn or anything?
Correct. Yeah, so the cars totally burnt, incinerated to nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were...
Just a horrible tragedy. You know what we skipped?
Well, my point is, but there was a lot of weird, unexplained shit going on.
Yeah, I just...
You
know, I kind of attribute that to, you know how when there's tornadoes and people are like, oh my God, the only thing left standing was a this and a that, and how did it jump from one house to the other house? I mean, granted, you're going to expect that in a tornado, but in a wildfire, you have to expect the same thing, where there's shifting winds and just weirdness, right?
Right.
I mean, I know their conspiracy theories are abound, right? I mean, they're just coming up with everything. Anyway, I was saying we skipped our intro. This is Dudes Like Us. Welcome to Dudes Like Us.
Oh man. Well, it's August 29th.
Yeah.
And we said it's a warm day, and we got thankful that our podcast producer, Mr. Austin over there, just got his staples taken out.
And he's back in action.
Back in action. I'll run it on all. Well, Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff. He had his arm reattached, right? Is that what it was?
Wow.
With a couple staples.
10 staples?
Yeah, like
actually 9.
A major part of his skull reattached.
The hospital charged for 10, but they only put 9 in. That's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
Because you can't. They might have put in 10. You just can't find the other one.
Oh. Well, whatever.
We'll find it when he goes to the airport. TSA.
That's funny. Sir. God.
Yeah. So anyway, getting back, there's this new group of scientists, because in the past you've always heard, 99% of all the scientists agree that.
What are they called? The 15 circles, you said?
What?
The scientists?
No. Scientists?
No, there's 1,600 scientists.
1,600 scientists have all signed on.
Oh, 1,600 scientists.
That said that they think that everything is being over-dramatized.
Correct.
Exploited, and they just think it's wrong.
Correct. They said that 1,600 scientists, which debunks the whole political narrative that all the scientists agrees that climate change we're all going to die in 10 years. And throughout the years, you always see this. Just like Al Gore said back in the late 90s, in 12 years, we're going to be.
Yep.
I don't even remember what it was. Was it the Earth isn't going to be around anymore or whatever? The Arctic's not going to have any ice on it. Greta Thunberg said 6 years ago,
it's always something,
that in 5 years the Earth will be gone. And these things keep coming and passing, but they keep passing these bills that, in anticipation of this is going to happen.
Well, that's the reason why. It's because people are making money on this.
That's exactly
this is a money maker. It has nothing to do with reality.
It's a transfer of money.
It's about and power.
Who's that? Gore? Al Gore?
And
Al
power.
Gore.
I mean, Al Gore was the climate czar for a while.
Think about it.
Absolutely full of shit.
If everybody's on board, if they force everybody on board and they enable the EPA or Congress or anybody to come up with a climate emergency, and they now have the power to push ideology.
Look how much we just fell in line. We're like a sheep. We're like lamb. When the COVID came along, we just all followed suit. We all bought into this gibberish of COVID issues and just absolutely nuts.
And then we turned on each other because some people were wearing masks.
Then it became
and some
tribal, and
it did get very tribal,
dividing, and
apparently that's coming back. They're talking about how there's going to be more lockdowns, and now there's more mask mandates at some schools and some colleges and stuff. I mean, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, there's
so
also
that means they learned nothing.
They've learned nothing, and I don't think people are going to fall for it. The same people that fell for it last time, they're not going to fall for it this time. There's going to be a small percentage of people because they still subscribe to that today.
Yeah. They still wear masks.
And that's their prerogative. They can do whatever they want.
Totally.
But I find it, I don't know if it's humorous, but the N95 mask, there's all these studies out now that are saying it's detrimental to your health.
It's toxic.
It's toxic. It gives you cancer and some other issue.
The irony.
Because you're inhaling your carbon monoxide for too long.
Oh, the irony is just thick.
Yeah. So it's, and they want you to wear these things all day. Kids to wear these things all day.
I know.
And,
it's unbelievable.
And it goes against the...
And it's happening again.
So there was a total of 1,609 scientists and professionals from around the world who signed the declaration, including 321 from the United States.
Yeah, and one was a Nobel Prize winner, and he in physics.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
The coalition pointed out that Earth's climate has varied as long as it has existed, with the planet experiencing severe cold, warm phases. The Little Ice Age only ended as early as 1850. Therefore, it's no surprise that we're now experiencing a warming phase.
So, have you ever seen how they show a clock of the history of the Earth? Right,
It's like a pendulum.
They represent it as a clock, and they say, this is what happened in these dates.
The Pliocene,
and exactly, and then they
Cretaceous.
show when Homo sapiens showed up on Earth, and they show up, and I don't know the exact numbers in the analogy, but we show up at 11:59 p.m.
59.1 seconds.
within 11 seconds.
Right.
That's when we show up.
Right.
In the history of Earth, right? And when you look at all the change that has happened over the 4+ billion years,
right?
I mean, climate has always changed. How do you think? I think I brought this up the other time. How do you think there are seashells on the top of mountains?
I know.
Oh, they're finding
Because Texas
crustaceans
used to be
on
the
top
entire
of Mount Everest.
Wait, yeah.
And one of the things that they found is that they're shells, and so when a shell dies, it
Right.
opens up.
Right.
They're finding shells that are fossilized, closed.
Right, meaning that was an ocean at one point.
Well, not just that, but it's that something came
Happened
down
quickly.
and killed the Earth instantly. Well, they're actually saying that Mount St. Helens, not Mount St. Helens, Mount Everest was used to be on the seafloor,
Right.
and it shot up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, when you look at how much change has happened in the Earth,
It's just crazy.
it's ridiculous
Well, it is.
for them to assume
exciting,
that we
too.
can change it like this.
Well, it is, and the studies, it's kind of frightening if these people get their way, because these studies, these scientists, what they're doing is they're studying CO2 level throughout history because they can go down in the dirt and shit.
Yep.
And we're at 2% or 3%, I think, today of carbon dioxide or monoxide or whatever one it is. And they said if it drops to 2, the
I think
plants.
it was more shallow than that. It was like if there's a 0.02 difference.
Yeah,
there was
basically,
really
there
microscopic.
won't be enough for the plants to survive.
Oh, that'll kill us in a hurry.
Yeah, so we're trying to reduce that.
Yeah, we're trying to reduce it, and we're like, whoa,
And
pump
we're
the
like,
brakes on that.
Yeah,
you know?
we're like right on the edge of if you reduce it too far, our plants aren't going to survive.
See, and I subscribe to the notion that we're ignorant to think that we can even change that.
Of course.
I mean, we cannot make that much change to Mother Earth. I mean, it's so immense. It's so massive.
And it fixes itself.
Yes.
It's all about the money, and it's a
And
free
power. Money and power.
It's a free source of money and wealth coming from us,
Mm-hmm.
the United States folks. We're the one. We pay for the entire fucking world. You know?
Yeah. Well, look what they're doing over there in the Netherlands, right, where they're shutting down all the farms, killing all the
ridiculous.
cows.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they're shutting down all these farms.
And destroying the livelihood of generations of farmers.
Yes, thousands of them.
Yeah, generational farming.
Yes.
And just hurting their own economy.
I don't get it. It's
I
a
do.
sickness.
I get it. They're
It's
trying
obsession.
to kill all the cows out there. You know why? Because
Methane.
you have folks like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg that are Mark Zuckerberg's unique because he's going out in the wilderness and vaccinating deer. And it's interesting. I saw on the Joe Rogan show, to go back to, first of all, let me finish up with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is he's developing his own farms with his own cows and chickens. He wants to infuse the chickens so that when they produce their eggs, the vaccine's already in there. Not just the COVID vaccine, but anything that they want to give to us.
That's
and they want
wonderful.
to have a delivery system set up within the cow meat as well.
Is that considered GMO?
yes, 100%.
But what Mark Zuckerberg
That's
is
beyond
doing,
GMO.
Yeah,
Is-
it's ultra GMO.
and it's interesting because the folks that are hunters, avid hunters,
Mhm.
they all know when they go hunting in certain areas. So it's like published in like hunting magazines what Mark Zuckerberg is doing. And he is actually going out there and vaccinating the livestock, the wild game out there. It's like they're giving special food so that they intake it, and then they're like, well, you got to go in these certain regions there is a syllabus. There is something in the magazine to tell them what region to avoid because that's the Mark Zuckerberg infected areas.
Oh wow!
What's he
How fucked up is
vaccinating
that?
them with?
I don't know exactly. I think it was something with COVID. I don't know. Like a COVID vaccine.
To the deer, deer and the elk and the moose and the.
We talked about this at one point. It's like a caddis or a
Caddis.
So, yeah, I don't know.
No, it is a program that's out there right now. It's an acronym, and
yeah, I just saw something about Zuckerberg teaming up with Bill Gates, and again, it's ideology as well, right? So if you think about it, dietitians, nutritionists, whatever, say that meat is not the best diet.
Who says that?
We just watched I think I was telling you guys about that. We just watched.
So those people said that. I'll find you 10 others who say the opposite.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. But I mean, so there is growing
Zodus.
There's growing notion that a plant, not necessarily vegan, but a plant-based diet, a majority plant-based diet, is where you want to go as opposed to a meat majority diet.
I say that's an agenda. They've been trying for a long time to get people stop eating meat because of greenhouse gases. It's bad for the climate.
Right. It ties into their ideology.
Tying into the ideology, and there's a huge push by these elites to eat insects.
Right.
And
I mean, I would argue that, we all know that moderation is a real thing, right? I mean, you shouldn't have a diet where it's massively dominated by meat. You should balance it with, vegetables and legumes and this and this and that, right? I mean, it's always a balanced diet, right? We've all heard that.
Yeah.
So I think they're just saying that
I'm not going to become a vegetarian.
But to be balanced, we need to eat more plant-based
These are the same people that told us who presented the food pyramid to us.
Yeah, well, that's just another thing. They keep changing the food pyramid. Wheat is good.
I call bullshit on all
everything.
that.
I call bullshit on all of it. I don't know who to trust anymore. I mean, to go back to the Mark Zuckerberg thing, so there's a program called Zodus. It's affiliated with Pfizer.
Oh, what a shocker.
Yeah, funded by Mark Zuckerberg. They rounded up 100 white-tailed deer and injected them with Myrna. So far, 100 million wild animals have been injected. 100 million wild animals have been injected. And who else? The people they're trying to kill us. And this was
unbelievable.
So when you go elk hunting, your elk could be vaccinated?
But how are they? It's not like they're capturing them and they're out in the wild and they're capturing them and they're injecting them. I mean, they've got to be. What is their distribution method?
What is the delivery system of the? Well, it could be the food that they eat, or hell, man, they could just shoot them.
Yeah, just a syringe.
Yep, they just shoot them.
I don't buy it. 100 million animals? No way. Logistically, I don't see that even being possible.
I am certain that it has something to do with the food that they're eating. Yeah. Well, how else would you deliver? What other kind of delivery service or method?
Yeah, I think the food would have to be it, because you couldn't. I don't think you could. Well, those teams would be enormous. First, you have to capture that many animals.
Keep in mind, and I'm doing this from the perspective that we go elk hunting every year, and
you never see one,
and we never see one, and so somehow the Facebook team can go out there and just round them up and inject them all.
Well, they're allowed to at night.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that helps.
Right.
But you see what I'm saying?
I know.
This is bullshit. Is what I think that is. I think that's more just get us all riled up to hate Zuckerberg and conspiracy theory stuff, but who knows? I mean, you know what? We've been shocked by other things that we've thought been ridiculous that are true.
So the thing about Mark Zuckerberg and the program that he bought called Zodus is that it does exist. Now, there are platforms out there that's saying that's false, that I just kind of looked at right now. But there's, like Jeff said, I'll show you platforms that say it's true.
Oh yeah.
But the fact is that he does own Zodus, and it is funded by Pfizer,
and it is an agenda that he has,
and it's something going on over there. So I mean, it's like where there's smoke, there's fire. It's kind of hard. I hate being a conspiracy theorist. I feel like I'm fucking Alex Jones over here. You know, it's just like. But you know what?
We'll
the weird
keep you in
thing
check.
about Alex Jones is that outside of the New Jersey issues that he
shooting,
had,
right,
the shooting crisis that they had out there, you know, outside of that, everything he said, almost everything that he has said is true.
I think his delivery needs to be better.
It was a little rash, but the whole
He's a
thing
little
about
crazy.
the New Jersey shooters wasn't. I mean, yeah, it was horrible that he said it, but what he was getting at is that the CNN, these news affiliates have crisis actors that will go out
Right.
and play in the background, you know,
And drum it up.
Oh, and just make it something that's not. And well, we're out here in the high winds, and we got this flooding water, and you got these people kind of strolling right past,
holding
them, going,
hands
Right.
and walking.
Hi, what's going on?
They're walking normally behind the
well,
guy.
I think he was 100% incorrect on that one, but some of his other stuff, I don't know. I haven't listened too much of him.
Yeah, there
He's
was
hard
the
to
gay
listen.
frogs.
Are you talking about Alex Jones?
Alex
Yeah.
Jones.
I've never. I don't even know what it looks like. I've never seen him before.
He's kind of baldish.
He's
Overweight.
he's
Now, did he get kicked off his platform?
He did.
He's been deplatformed.
in
yes.
2011. He came out with the COVID plan. He
Okay.
already said this was going to happen in 2011. He told you who was going to do it.
Meaning an outbreak where CDC is going to like take control, or literally COVID.
I don't know if he said COVID, but he named all the players.
Right.
Specifically.
And what would happen?
Exactly. And
Yeah,
he
yeah,
already
no,
knew
there-
it.
I mean,
Right.
there have been books written on, that kind of stuff. Like, who was it? One of the major, like Clancy, wrote a novel where
Oh, yeah, there's lots of books out there.
where
Alex
FEMA takes
Jones is
control and
he's a
and
genius.
CDC takes control.
I think he's got like some sort of photographic memory too, because he can spout facts. And even on the Joe Rogan show, Joe Rogan was like, "Dude, you're full of shit," and he was
Right.
like, look it up." And sure enough, he looked it up, and what all the stats he was spouting were true.
Wow.
I don't want to jump on the whole Alex Jones bandwagon. Who was the what was the show that he had with all the
InfoWars.
InfoWorlds,
yes.
and then you have the one guy that worked for him with the beard. We
Oh,
all
yeah.
watched him.
Yeah, he had some really good stuff during the 2015 time frame, and I think he's gotten a little more. Well, he got booted off too, so he's gotten a little more extreme.
I mean, it's amazing though that they just get booted off and then they go away. I mean, it's ultimate censorship, right?
Who were the
I mean,
guys?
that was an
Who
immensely
that guy we always
popular
watched?
show,
We
wasn't
actually
it?
liked him.
Yeah, he was, like I said, he's good. He's I haven't seen much from him in a while. Oh God, what was his name? He was a young guy. I don't remember, but he had some really good interviews and videos during the like I said, 2015.
Yeah, he was well bearded.
Well, he wasn't at the time. He is now. He's very well bearded now. And
His name wasn't Matt, was it?
no,
Oh, okay.
no.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know it's easy to get wrapped up in conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff, but man,
Well,
it's
it's not a
hard
conspiracy
not
theory when it's
to-
true.
His name's
yeah,
Owen
it's hard
Schroyer.
not
Yeah,
to
Owen
believe a lot of
Schroyer,
it because, I mean, deep state is thick, man. I mean, it's
We don't
crazy.
know, and they're running this campaign to stomp out Trump, and I hate bringing that shit up, but you know what? The fact of the matter is, it's true. You know, regardless of what we think, everybody knows Trump's a narcissist jackass. However, everyone wants to see him in action. Everyone wants him to be making decisions right now. We just don't want him to do it being a jackass.
Right?
I'll
Outside
tell you
of
what,
that-
Which is inevitable.
I think this mugshot has backfired on the Democrats.
Yeah, he's been fundraising on it. Well, and they're
There you
also
go.
fundraising. Everybody's fundraising on it. Both sides are fundraising on it.
Right.
Which is funny. But,
I think Trump will be more successful with it, though.
oh, yeah, I think you're right. Well, I mean, and everybody knows it's a witch hunt, right? They know it's a political witch hunt.
It is.
I mean, and then they're, making the trial, be accelerated, and legal scholars were saying, yeah, no trial. It's never been like this. No
Right.
one's ever done this type of accelerated trial before, right? I mean, it's just bullshit. The whole thing's bullshit. So,
It's disgusting. It's just, it's what's next. I mean, what's
Yeah.
next? And you know, the thing is that bothers me is that even if Trump weren't in the picture, they would be blowing up somebody else.
That's right.
And dragging them through the mud.
Well, they're starting to drag Vivek through the mud.
Yep.
They're starting to dig shit up from him.
And yeah, what makes you think they're not going to employ the exact same tactics against anybody else they consider a
So
threat?
it's just like,
all of them.
And Chris Christie's things that, we shouldn't. And, hold on, let me eat this sandwich real quick. You know what? We shouldn't be. We shouldn't mess with Trump just simply because he's going to be in the courts all the whole time. And that's just it. That's their plan.
Yep, that's their plan.
That's what the whole thing. Oh, we shouldn't. Oh, you know what? Maybe you should go after the Democrats and tell them to stop playing fucked up.
Yeah.
Stop being stupid.
Political games.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. You got all these putts, Biden, Hillary, Obama, Hunter, Comey, all these guys doing horrible, illegal things.
Yep.
And there are no consequences.
Because of the Department of Justice.
It's just frustrating. And then you get the other side that's kind of like, well, that's not true.
Right.
How can you possibly say that's not true?
And they say to you, how can you possibly believe that? All you ever listen to is Fox News, and they're lying to you. It's everybody's so entrenched, man.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Well, Fox News. Well, Trump's not getting along with Fox News either. That was
No,
probably
he's not.
That was one of the reasons why he didn't want to go on the debate, which we hadn't talked about.
Yeah,
You know?
I thought the debate was a shit show. Personally, I didn't even finish it. They were talking over each other.
I watched the whole thing,
and they were being just childish. I thought.
Yeah, I only watched literally 5 minutes of it, and it turned me off. I turned it off. It was the question of would you support Trump if he was got convicted and ended up being the nomination? Raise your hand.
And was running from prison.
Yeah, and of course, Vivek, his arm went up quickly. And
yeah, he hurt himself, I think.
I
don't think so.
He trumped.
His arm shot up. No, I know his arm shot up so fast that I think he pulled his rotator.
But what got me is he's like, I just trumped.
I trumped. Yeah, no,
And then
kidding.
DeSantis, it was so obvious. He was looking, all right, what's everyone else doing?
Oh, it made it look so...
It was so bad.
It was.
It was not a good look for him.
No. But they say, I mean, he bounced in a positive way.
He did. But then,
and so did Vivek.
And then it just devolved into a screaming match.
I know.
With the crowd, the candidates, and I was just like, yeah, I'm out.
I know.
Click.
I watched for, I don't know, maybe an hour. But, I mean, I thought it was a bad look for the Republican Party. I mean, I wasn't impressed with anybody, quite honestly.
Part of that has to do with the moderators. They needed to get a better handle on that.
Well, it's hard though. I mean, they're all talking over each other, and they're talking.
Well,
out
then you
of
stop it
turn
down. You say, "I'm going to turn your damn microphone off." If you keep it up,
yeah,
you got to be.
Well, then they turned around and admonished the crowd.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was like, I'm done.
I know. It just got childish.
I'm done.
All right, I'm going to make a little subject change here. I was reading about how they've come up with a new way of administering the death penalty. I
saw this.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Okay, so
is it a butt luge?
No, today they do a cocktail,
one.
right? They have a cocktail of drugs.
Yeah, like sodium pentothal and like aspirin.
Yes,
in the COVID.
And what's interesting is
the vaccine anyway.
Two things. People who were against the death penalty somehow made it to where it was very difficult to get those drugs. You heard about that, right?
There's other ways to kill people.
Yes, but just that the popular cocktail that had a very good success rate, because remember, some of these people survive. They survive the death penalty.
If you survived, you go, all right, you win, you get life.
But yeah, I don't know.
Or do they try again later on?
I don't know what they do when somebody survives. I mean,
try to revive them or just let them lay there and eventually die.
Well, here's the thing.
Know.
So it's like they have. Well, you're going to serve 100 years, but you are when they have to say you're serving multiple lifetimes,
right?
And so you've got that's bullshit. I think they should just get a gun and whack them.
Years. Yeah.
Well, part of that has to do with parole. That's why they do that.
Right.
So if I'm doing life. Without the possibility of parole, that's one thing. But if you don't have that, you're eligible for parole within a certain time. So when you do consecutive life terms, that makes your parole out. You're not going to reach it.
You're not going to reach it.
That's why they do that.
You have to be 147 for your first parole.
Correct.
All right. So anyway, So there are.
I'm a lawyer.
There was a new thing they're going to do. They're giving straight nitrogen.
Yes.
Straight nitrogen, which is abundant.
they said it will put them to sleep and kill them.
Well, and that's part of it. They want to be humane about this. So they want the lowest chance possible of them not dying, right?
But they're not
because
sure.
That's inhumane.
But they're not quite sure.
They've never done it.
They've never done it. So they think the person will just fall asleep within a minute.
And then they'll be dead within a minute.
Yeah, then dead a minute after that. So, but they're not quite sure.
So
the amount of nitrogen to fill that room would be obnoxious.
I'm sure it's a mask.
It's a mask. It's a mask. And they're going to do it, by the way. Nebraska.
I thought it was Alabama.
Is it Alabama? Can you look? Oh, Alabama to be the first state to execute prisoner using pure nitrogen, setting off debate on death penalty methods. So the interesting thing is there was some expert that they were interviewing, and they said, there's not that really many. There's not that many ways to administer the death penalty, but the one that they said was the most humane was firing squad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why they just shoot me.
That's
right
the most humane.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good idea, too, because
stand there blindfolded,
whatever they did
boom.
to deserve to be killed, they put someone through torture
question.
and torment. They deserve it right before they die. You know, why don't they just put them to sleep with the same stuff that killed the frogs in the chemistry class?
Like with chloroform, and then
Mine were already
shoot them
dead.
in the head.
You killed your frogs?
Well, hadn't you seen E.T. where they put it in a little like a container and
Yeah,
they
set 'em
drop
free.
a cotton ball in there and they start drying? Ribbit.
God, I don't remember that.
You didn't watch
No,
it?
no, I
I saw
remember that.
E.T. when it first came out in 1980.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's just like
Yeah,
Haven't seen it since.
and then they were killing. Yeah, they're killing them, and then they dissect them. Right, that's part of the class.
Right.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that nitrogen is going to be the new thing they're going to try.
that is interesting. I wonder if nitrogen is readily available too, right?
It's
Right.
it's a huge part of what we're breathing right now.
Right.
So, I mean, does that mean that people are going to start utilizing nitrogen to start killing people? I mean, it's kind of an interesting notion.
Well, I mean, you'd have to like hold them down and put
a
a mask on them.
Well, what if you go to sleep and someone
messes
goes
with your
through your
CPAP machine?
window and they kind of slide a little tube in there and they...
I don't think it works like that.
I don't know.
No?
Well, I thought what was interesting is,
But that's a good. I don't know.
I think that because now they're like, well, this is an inhumane way to. We don't know if it's inhumane or not, and I think the people of the prison system were like, well, we're going to have to rely on the prisoner to tell us if it's inhumane or not. That's the only way.
Right.
So if he dies peacefully, all right, it's humane.
Yeah, seemed like it worked.
If he's flipping out and starts seizing and puking everywhere, okay, that's inhumane.
Yeah, they're like.
So they're going to have to rely on the results of this, be able
Right.
to tell if it's humane.
So they like administer nitrogen. And they go, "How do you feel?" I feel fine. How about now? Yeah, no, I feel great.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah. Can I have another last meal?
Can I have some lobsters?
Yeah. Well, how about now? No, I don't feel anything. I mean, I think at that point
I thought that was
like,
a funny quote. We'll have to rely on the prisoner to tell us
Right.
if it's.
yeah.
I'm sure that you'll be able to tell, right? If this guy starts flipping out and seizing and all kinds of crazy shit, you'll know. Okay, well, maybe this wasn't the best idea to do this.
Right.
I wonder if he has a say in it. I don't think he would. You're going to be our guinea pig.
you
the
can-
person dying?
Yeah, you can pick your method. Is that what you're asking?
That's like, did they come to him and
Because there
say?
is a guy that requested the firing squad.
That's what I would want.
Yeah, and they shoot you in like the heel,
Just the kneecap.
and clip the hip, and maybe glance the
They
shoulder
just take all the joints
No,
out.
they have like...
straight in the kneecap.
they-
Both knees, hips, elbows, and shoulders.
Oh my god! I reload.
No,
Fuck, I missed.
they have like
Part of the ear.
5 or 6 guys with rifles, and only one of them has the kill shot.
Really? I did not know this.
Because you don't want those people to be stuck with, I just killed a human. That's what
Okay,
I've
hold
heard.
on. So you're saying there's 8 or 9 guys? Is that what you said? 8 or
No, well, there's usually 5 or 6.
okay, 5 or 6, and you're saying 5 are shooting blanks and one has a real bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one bullet may not kill them.
You did the middle of the head, it will.
Well,
They're probably like 20
but
feet
you've
away.
heard
with-
surprise. I mean, you've heard people survive crazy shit.
You shoot someone in the middle of the head with a hollow point, half the brain's flying out the back.
Okay, I get it. You don't have to be graphic.
Yeah, it's just... seriously.
So
They're
really,
out.
so there's blanks and one guy has
That's what I've always heard.
the real bullet.
And
Can you
like-
confirm that for us, Mr. Producer?
Yeah, that's
How
typical.
does a firing squad work?
Yeah.
Like, do they really have blanks? Most of them? I have never heard that.
I've heard that. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I've heard that as well.
Why not just rig up like 200 pounds of TNT on their body?
Just obliterate them?
Obliterate their body.
I think they should just send them down to Titanic.
Oh, instant death.
Instant. Just so it's like...
Yeah. And they, you know what? It's a...
That'd be humane. They wouldn't feel it.
Yeah, and we're going to let you see something you've never seen before.
Right.
Right
Basically,
before you die.
basically, it's a pressurized can with a cork, and they just pull the cork, which depressurizes it.
Yeah, whenever they're ready, they just pull the string. They're up at the surface, and they just go, book. God. And they become fish food. All right, what do we got? By country. All right, well, I don't want it.
Sometimes one or more soldiers of the firing squad may be issued a rifle containing blanks.
So some of them.
Hold on. But
in such cases, soldiers of the firing squad are not told beforehand they are using live ammunition. This is believed to reinforce a sense of diffusion of responsibility.
Right. I'm not the one that killed him.
So maybe it's, okay, there's 7 people, 2 of you have blanks. That way you could always go, I had the blank.
I'm pretty sure I had the blank.
Yeah. So you have 5 bullets going into him.
Because I shot at his foot,
that
and
makes
his
more
foot wasn't bleeding.
That makes more sense than 1, because that 1, what if it just kind of glances off his skull and he leaves like a divot down his scalp? Right?
All right, so I guess that's...
And you have to reload. You have to put the black powder in there, and you have to pack with the poles and put the little...
Yeah. Hurry,
musket ball in there.
He's in pain. Hurry up and reload.
Get your bayonet, stab him.
All right, well.
So
anyway, I thought
I'm reading this
really...
thing right here. This guy's talking about, he says, contrary to the assertion that firing squads traditionally have only one rifle live load and all the rest are blanks, firing squads have all weapons one loaded with a live round. No one would risk that the only shooter with a live round might miss or only wound the condemned. The purpose of an execution, whether with rifles or anything else, is to make sure someone is dead very quickly and very certainly. Not to play games to see if one person out of 6 would be able to hit a target, if not to play the game again. Let's hear it. One of the reasons the fire squad... Let me see if I said...
Yeah, so who knows? Well, look at this firing squad. Shit, they got, 20 guys up there?
And do they really... I know this is also a dumb question, but whenever I see... I don't know if they were real footage or movies, but you see them like take shots to the body, and they just kind of slump over. Are they all getting shot in the head? I mean, I know that would be the easiest way to kind of.
I'm sure in a movie,
make sure they're dead.
I'm sure in a movie you don't want to see their face explode, so they're trying to hide that graphicness.
It's a Tarantino movie.
Well, today you may do that, but back in the day, they're trying to hide the violence. Right, so if you don't want to, they weren't going to show them getting the bullet between the eyes.
All right, so we know for sure that would be the. I mean, it's common sense,
right?
That getting shot, in the ear.
What is it? What is it that we're drinking?
Oh, segue.
Oh, nice segue. Because we were just talking about shooting people in a firing squad.
I was just looking. I just pulled back on this. And I was like, God bless.
Well, so our bourbon, right? So our bourbon.
All right, so what is it? Let's talk about it.
Why don't you pull it up, Mr. Producer? It is. There you go. It's the new Riff single barrel Bourbon, and the bottle is interesting. It's like half the bottle's painted or something.
It's like a frosted black color.
Yeah, something up top.
So we got this at Total Wine, right?
Get this at Total Wine. It's a single barrel, and it's new release to the area. I know when I was in Missouri, this was all over the place up there.
And it's Kentucky.
And it's due to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. At least it was when we bought this. And it's from Kentucky. I don't know what distillery. What's the distillery on this? Oh,
New Riff
Distilling. How novel.
Yeah.
This is the single barrel. They have the stranded bourbon as well, but the fellas at Total Wine says get this one instead, and
we did.
I think it's a winner,
and I'm glad we did. This is so the nose is incredible. I mean, that was it's rare that I get excited about drinking it because the nose is so good, right? I mean, because the nose is all fairly similar. This one's got something very unique about the nose. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, there's something in there. Julie tasted it, and she said she smelled a lot of vanilla. I don't know if I picked that up or not.
So the nose is great. The The finish is fantastic.
I can see the smell of butterscotch and vanilla.
Yeah, I could taste it. I could definitely taste it. See if you can find some tasting notes, Mr. Producer.
And what was the proof of it again? 112?
So the tasting notes are like it's a broad, fulsome mouthful, leading to a sweeter vanilla accent before a gathering of rye spices like cloves, cinnamon, mint, dark berry, and right into the finish.
Golly. It's
Mint.
really good.
I could pick up the mint.
Oh, there's the smell. Hold on. Go back up. The nose. They call it the smell.
The smell.
Yeah, the nose. All
right, 30% rye in the mash bill. Makes itself immediately known, okay? Honey, caramel, freshly opened tangerine, dried citrus peel, really.
Oh.
A little vanilla, a ton of herbal dill, fennel, and thyme with thyme.
Kind of dill.
With
Like
a
dill?
little less licorice.
Liquor rice.
I don't know about all that, but
You don't taste the dill?
it's
This is 30% rye.
yeah, it's and it's 51% rye whiskey.
I don't know what that means.
You wouldn't be wrong to think that. Oh, okay. You wouldn't be wrong to think that it was a 51% rye whiskey, but it's only 30%.
So the nose says it's spicy and detailed, showing mint, black pepper, and vanilla with hints of orange and oak.
Oh, so that's somebody else's take?
Well, this is from the Riff bottle and bond. The Riff rye. What is this? Is this bottle and bond?
No, this is single barrel. All right, so get these flavors. Becomes more uniquely rye-y. It leads with sweet honey, dark citrus, and dried apple, but the rye-influenced fennel, thyme, rosemary, dill, bubble gum, ripe pineapple, roasted oak, and half-baked whole grain bread.
Shut up. I get
And
I get
eucalyptus.
so tired of this. Okay, hold on. Go down to taste and aftertaste.
I smell 2/3 baked.
Yeah, that's
whole
so
wheat bread.
dumb.
I think whoever wrote this is 2/3 baked.
Yeah, and I don't even want to read this, to be honest. It's
All right,
so
well,
retarded.
I will tell you, ultimately, the new Riff is good. I'm enjoying it. It's got a fantastic. What is the proof on this bad boy?
Yeah, I was trying to get
Each
that
single
earlier.
barrel is going to be different, so I don't know. He's going to have to look at the bottle.
119, maybe 112. 112.
112.
Yeah.
112.9.
We got to get I would really love to hear our producer talk in the microphone once in a blue moon.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Wouldn't it
Maybe
be
all those
nice to
staples,
hear
all those
producer?
staples affect
But I
his
do-
voice.
People are like, they don't have a producer. They're full of shit. They're just
know.
trying to act like they have someone back there. There's no one
All right,
behind.
make our
There's no one back
make our listener believe you that you are real.
No, our viewership is way up.
here. Oh, well.
I know, because we're awesome and we're sharing incredibly important information every Tuesday night.
We should be
That's
making
right.
money at this point.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
just-
hey, we got to start
at least $2.
We got to start crowdfunding, maybe. All right.
I don't know.
Anyway, I would give this an 8, gentlemen. I don't give a lot of 8.
I think it's about a 7 for me.
Ooh.
I think it's about a 7 and
7 and
0.4.
and 15 sixteenths.
No, 7.4. Not quite 7.
I'm going 8. I'm going 8. I really enjoy it.
What's the proof on this?
112.
Mr. Producer is just a part of our imagination is what he's saying. You're a jackass.
Yes.
Plus, producer's going to have to talk about his experience in Alabama and him falling, passing out, and not face planting, but back of the head planting, and cracked his skull wide open.
Yeah.
He had some brain leakage.
Had some brain leakage. Whatever. It was kind of a scare.
Why don't you tell us the story briefly, Mr. Producer?
The story of...
Get in the mic there.
Yeah.
My bad. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
There
we
you
can
go.
hear you.
That's fine.
So give us the real story. How did you fall down and crack your head open?
Well, walk us through the day. Because the
day?
days prior, you went fishing, hanging out at the beach.
Yeah, okay.
All the
Wednesday,
strenuous
okay.
stuff.
Did you catch any
In the
shark?
beginning of the week, we didn't really do much. And then Wednesday, we went deep sea fishing, and we went far out. I'm talking, we were going about 60 miles, and
Did
it was
you puke?
like 45 minutes.
That's exciting.
Did
you
you
get
puke?
sick?
Far out there.
You didn't get sick, huh?
I was dizzy. I was nauseous the whole time, but
Yeah.
Really?
I was
It
I
can
was
happen.
conscious
That'd be
enough.
what I was be afraid of.
I was
if I went
conscious
and did
enough
that.
to go fishing. I caught a big red snapper, but I didn't catch the biggest one.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
the ginger.
What you wanted was a massive bluefin tuna,
Yes.
and then you would have made like $5,000. What are you guys laughing about? What did I miss? The red tuna? The red snapper?
Jeff called her, ooh, a ginger.
Oh. Ginger.
All right, so you came back
The
and then you spent the
snap.
day in the condo, the cabin, or
Yeah.
whatever the house
Okay.
was in.
Sorry, I'm just
That was the
nuggeting.
day prior, and then the next day we were out in the sun shopping, going to souvenir shops, seeing what we could find. And then the following day, I was doing nothing. I just laid in bed pretty much all day. I'm on vacation,
Yeah.
and it hadn't occurred to me that I didn't drink water.
Yeah, that's
basically
important.
throughout that week. So my
Especially
body was
when you've
very
been out-
dehydrated.
Yeah, out offshore and run around in the sun.
Well, I
Yeah,
drank
you're-
water that day. I just didn't drink enough.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it evaporates
happens.
off your body quickly.
So
Yes.
towards the end of the day, I had eaten food without much beverage, which was stupid. And going downstairs, because this is a beach on the house. It's about suspended 5 yards above the ground. It's
Beach
stilts.
on the house.
Beach
or
on the
hou-
house.
houses
Beach on the
So
house.
they covered the house with a bunch of sand.
Would they
That's
bury
beach
it?
under the house. That's
Was it
house
like
under
an
I think you
Indiana
meant house-
Jones
house on the
cave
beach.
kitchen
House on the beach. Yeah, we're
My
just
bad.
giving you a hard time. Don't worry. Keep going.
He has a concussion. Come on.
Yeah, no,
I hit my head.
He's
You gonna make
talking
fun
in
of me?
rhyme. Come on, Yoda. We can hear that
Yoda.
chair from over here.
crack open my head. I did.
And basically, walking down those stairs, I get to the car. Car's already open for me. I just have to walk in, and then I suddenly get really lightheaded. And I rest my arm and kind of my body on one of the little posts suspending the house. And I look down, and I get really lightheaded and nauseous. Really lightheaded and nauseous. And I just remember
Smack.
thinking, okay, let's get in the car. And then I woke up.
It's someone yelling at you, Austin, Austin. So
Well, yeah, I woke up. The way I woke up was
Ugh.
my friend's aunt was
He was
yelling
nude.
my name
nude.
over and over again
Multiple
because she
people
just
on top of
witnessed
him.
me faint, fall backwards, hit my back on the floor, and then my head whip back on the concrete and bounce.
Not good.
And
You're
then
lucky
my
it
body-
wasn't. You were lucky it wasn't more serious than it was.
And then
Oh,
my body
yeah.
started twitching. My eyes were rolled back in my head. And I was out for about 10 seconds. And then I woke up because I was passed out. But I swear I heard my name. Someone called my name. And I woke up from that. And then I was like, I woke up to my... I was on the floor. This is a driveway.
you're laying
This
in
is
the middle
concrete.
of the concrete.
Yeah, this is a
parking lot,
concrete driveway.
Ugh.
And
There's
I
blood
wake
everywhere.
up and my friend is holding my head because it is open. My skull didn't crack just because my dad said I split my skull open. No,
Well,
I didn't.
Your skin split
my
open.
skin split.
The scalp
And
split
I
open.
will say it was
Right.
a big
Which bleeds
split.
a lot.
And heads
I will
bleed
say
a
it
lot.
was
Yes,
a
they do.
giant split, but it wasn't my skull lucky. I got lucky that I didn't get my
That you didn't crack your skull.
my skull. I got
Yeah.
lucky that, frankly, the only brain damage I got was I just got a concussion, which isn't
that we know of.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
You're gonna have to wait 30 years before you know the real impact.
Then all of a sudden he'll start speaking in tongues.
Right.
But I was
Oh,
very
what was that?
concussed.
And he'll be like, "Damn it! It's when I hit my head 35 years ago."
Oh shit. Well, so he ended up falling backwards and cracked his head open.
Yep.
And he ended up going to the emergency
Hospital.
room.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, I
And-
refused an ambulance. That was
You
the
refused
first
it?
time. That was the first time I've done that.
Huh. That's
Well,
a good idea.
I told this little short, skinny cop girl that
Okay.
I did not want an ambulance.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you
as
know.
long, I mean, who cares? As long as they got you into a car and drove you to the emergency room, I can understand that. When you have your own ability to get to the emergency room and your life is not in immediate danger, you don't need to ride in an ambulance.
Well,
I mean, I do believe that.
I blame. One of our kids. We went on vacation, and one of them got sick, and we called an ambulance. And I remember Austin overheard. We were complaining that the ambulance was like $5,500.
Oh yeah,
to drive 1 mile up the street,
right.
Oh, yeah.
1 freaking mile.
Yes.
And so I'm sure that was what was going on in the back of his head,
Okay. Well,
even though it was.
I mean, yes and no, but really, after my other friend had grabbed bottles of water, and I was just downing it while basically phased on the ground, not much mind thought going on there,
Yeah.
and about 2.5 bottles in, I like have a deep sigh, like a yawn. I go, and then I do exhale.
I'm back, right?
And I was like, holy shit, where am I? You know, I had like one of those moments where I'm like, okay, I'm good.
So how much time did it take? So you hit the ground, you're up. Police talking to you. They took you to the from that point.
From how long did it take me to not be dazed?
Well, no, throughout the night. Did that take up basically 5 hours of your day?
It took up.
The whole
Okay, we left.
I bet it took
Okay,
more than
we
that.
were leaving
Yeah.
around 4:30.
hospitals suck.
And
Yeah.
we came back at 7.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. When did you leave?
We left at 4:30 and we came back at like 7.
Oh, okay. So that's
It's only 2.5
3.5
hours.
That's pretty
hours.
fast. Yeah,
It's
it was
not
pretty
bad
fast.
at all.
Well, there's already a cop in
Fuck.
the neighborhood because it's
We're
a
going to the wrong
public
hospital.
beach,
No shit.
and the cop took like less than 5 minutes to get there. Like she was there instantly.
Maybe
And
we
then-
have the wrong injury.
And then
Maybe.
the
Yeah, but he's white.
fire. Yeah, exactly.
It is Orange Beach, though.
I
So
mean,
they-
I wasn't entirely white. I was pretty tan on that beach.
Oh.
Yeah,
So they shaved your whole body.
they did. I thought that was a little weird because I hit my head. I was
Stripped
like,
you
"That's not
nude.
my body."
Yeah,
But
well,
they-
that's standard procedure.
The cop just
The-
said, "No, sir, it's necessary." And
Then they
she-
circumcised you.
And I was like,
Again?
Again.
He already took off.
They-
it
they
is.
You got a
You
little
want
bit
another
left
one?
hanging on there. Let me get it.
Yeah, then they inverted your penis.
And then removed your left testicle.
Jeez.
Sorry.
It's,
You got
they
staples.
sold it on
Transitioned
eBay.
You got
Right
10
there.
staples.
I got 10 staples.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I've never
Yeah.
got staples before. Not much. I haven't heard much people getting staples. So at the time, I didn't really know how much was a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And
So, young man, what
Brandon-
did you learn from this experience?
I learned that
To hydrate.
Yes.
it really
Yeah.
hurts when you hit your head really hard.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
To hydrate.
well, also, you got to hydrate, so you prepare for that.
I
but-
learned that brushing
also-
your teeth is important.
That's a
and
lesson we all
staying in
need to
school
learn,
is good
man.
as well.
Yeah. What the biggest
We
thing
never
is,
drink enough
is
water.
that when you start, you have now got those feelings like before it happens, you can kind of anticipate that. There a lot of times, like I can get up really quick and get lightheaded, and instead
Getting
of
up too
just
fast?
walking around, I'm like, whoa. Take a chill pill. Don't walk anywhere because I know very well I could pass out. I've never passed out before, but from that. But I'm just saying,
From that.
yeah.
From that.
I had some sort of seizure. Had a couple times called I think it was called vasovago. I don't even know what that means, but that stuck in my head.
It means New World Order.
That's not.
That's on the $5 bill.
It's under the pyramid. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that too. But did we talk about it on podcast or was
No,
that
that was in the
Oh.
We
car.
didn't. That was it. Living Spaces.
Living Spaces? Do they have a little theme song up with Living Spaces?
Well, we probably should.
Yeah.
That's our sad hangout.
Yes, it is.
Have we ever said that on the podcast?
I don't know.
Well, shout out to Sean.
What makes living spaces so better than like IKEA or
They
Well,
have
do
a
they
bar.
serve beer
They have
in
a
IKEA?
bar.
Yeah, $2 of beer.
$2 pint of
Yeah.
draft beer.
We'd
And-
like 2 pizzas and 3 orders of pretzels and 3 beers. That'll be $12. Okay.
and that's the pinnacle. That's the climax of our Friday afternoon, right? We hit a couple alcohol stores looking for unicorns. We've said that before. I know we
Right.
have.
You know it's funny.
And then we end up at Living Spaces because first of all, we love furniture as much as we love bourbon.
Yeah.
What's bad is the guys up front know us now.
They,
Yeah.
you know how when you walk into a furniture store or car dealership or anything, and they just it's like in the movie Toy Story, they're like,
Yes.
and they all start like just converging on you. They go, oh my God, it's those guys.
They're just like, have fun.
They don't even look up from their clipboards. They see us walking in through the parking lot,
Right.
and they continue every conversation.
You
they're
can always
having.
tell the new person because they always try to.
They engage us.
They try to engage the long timers who know us. Just like, hey, have fun.
Yeah,
go
have
over there.
fun.
so
It's
they're
so sad.
they're aware that y'all just leech off of them.
100%.
Of course, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's why they want us there.
Yeah.
They want us to.
Oh.
They lure us with the cheap beer and
So,
cheap pizzas and cheap.
The last
pretzels.
time we were up there, I ordered the food, and Sean, of course, behind the bar, he knows us. Hey, where you been at? I haven't seen you. Just giving him shit. And he says something snarky. And I was like, "That's it, no tip for you." Because at Living Spaces, they don't give you the ability to tip.
You can't tip. Yeah. Anyway, so he's a good kid.
We can't wait for Sean to join us on the podcast. Maybe one of these times.
Yeah, he's too busy playing video games.
Is he? Is he playing video games?
Oh yeah.
He wants to open up his own bar, or what is it now?
What?
His laundromat.
He's working at a laundromat?
No, he wants to open up his own laundromat.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, laundromats, they can yield a lot of profit if you're in the right spot and you've got the laundromats have really become sophisticated lately.
I mean, think about it. There's a million laundromats. Well, not a laundromats, but there's a million of nail places, a million of dry cleaners.
Do dry cleaners get as much business now that not everyone, but
I don't know.
They're not as, you don't see suits anymore. You're wearing khakis and a polo.
I think people
still take it, but
nobody likes to iron, right? So I mean, they're lazy.
No, but how much of that business has gone away?
I think you're right. I think some of it has. Well, here's the other thing: some people that can afford it will take their golf shirts
because you can
there
just launder shit there.
Because what happens is that if I take my golf shirts and throw them in the regular laundry, well, it damages them over a period of time. If you take it to the laundromat, it preserves them a little bit longer. It's kind of maybe it's just the way I wash my clothes, or
it's the chemicals because laundromats use a lot of nasty chemicals.
No, I'm saying it lasts longer taking it to the dry cleaners.
Well, I know. I wonder if that's part of the chemicals that they use.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
my uncle owned a laundromat for years.
Yeah,
and it was nasty chemicals.
Did you ever work there?
No, I never did. He did for years.
Did you ever jump in a bag and put yourself on the little machine and go up and down in the hangers?
I never went to his laundromat.
You ever see that? The hangers, you put one on there and it's like, and it goes around this whole big roller coaster ride.
Huh. Kind of like the movie, Mikey and the Monsters, Inc. Remember
Correct.
that?
But they were doors.
With the doors, with the doors. They're flying around and shit.
Yeah, I'd never been to his laundromat, but he sold it. He ended up selling it and opened up a bar called Fritz's.
Fritz's.
How do you do with that? How do you do with the bar?
He did great. He was old enough, right? So he sold it, opened up a bar, and his sons ran it.
I think it would be
one of them did.
I think it would be fun to own a bar / restaurant.
And it was great. It was like the old fashioned just bar.
God.
I mean, do they do well? I mean, I don't get it.
What, bars or laundromats?
No, bars.
Well, bars can do well.
And I'm talking about the corner bars, like what you're talking about, like a small bar.
Are you going to get rich doing that? Probably not.
Well, here's the thing between a lot of the setbacks for bars. There's a couple. One of his location, obviously. Getting the business is one, regardless. I'm going to throw location into that. But another part of that is once you get there, are you going to own the land? Are you going to buy the building?
Usually you rent it, right?
Yes. So when you rent it, it is such a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Because it is so freaking expensive.
Well, try, like in Frisco, try buying land to open a bar.
That's why you wouldn't open in Frisco.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if you have deep enough pockets, then I would recommend you buy the land. If you want a bar to be successful, obviously besides all the normal shit that you got to do just to own the bar, manage the bar, design the bar, create concepts, is you gotta own the land. You gotta own the building. Because if you don't do that, fuck it.
That's a bill that never goes away.
Yeah. So I would buy a bigger building, use like 2/3 of it, and then rent the other third out.
Right. So you have residual income.
You got some money coming back to you, and in whatever.
You know what's amazing to me though? I think that the biggest thing about bars, and maybe even restaurants, but really more bars, right? People want to belong somewhere.
Right.
The idea is to
where everybody knows your name.
You know what? You joke, but you know how many bars we've gone to where their customer service just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the bartenders and the waitresses and they just don't give a shit.
Yeah. Even like going to the Revel.
To me. It would be
like
so easy.
The hostess in the front, it's kind of cool when we go to the Revel. The hostess in the front, she knows us.
Right.
We walk in and say, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, I recognize you because you're ugly."
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only is it so important, it's so easy. It's so easy to make people feel like
They're welcome.
All you got to do,
they're happy that they're there.
Is you got to be grounded with yourself too. You know, a little bit. I mean, customer service. You got to pay attention. That makes a difference. That kind of stuff will make or break you.
I mean, just imagine.
Know all their names.
I mean, let's imagine we owned a bar, right? I mean, or just one of us owned a bar, and you walked around. I mean, you were there, right? And you walked around, and you're like, "Hey, man, I'm Blob, the owner. Blah blah blah. What's your name? Where you from? You know, that will make them come back for life.
Well, plus when you walk into a bar and they're like, "Hey, Jack and Coke," and you're like, "Yes, I'll have a Jack and Coke."
Yes,
you know that is huge.
And guess what? The Jack and Coke is only $5.50.
That's even better.
Not $14.
Yeah, that'll be $17.50.
You can literally corner the market. Everybody's so fucking greedy in this town.
Well,
with their drinks and their food.
Because it costs a lot to own a business.
I get it, but I mean, damn.
Yeah, but there comes a point where you're kind of like, dude, come on. I mean,
especially when you're at these bourbon places and you're like, I know that bottle costs you $20,
right?
And you're charging me $10 for a shot.
I mean, even if they went to Total Wine and bought the bottle there, which they're not.
Well, liquor yields the biggest profit. You know, that's why these companies that open up and just do beer and wine, they're not going to do as well. It's like you almost want to go out and spend. But even TABC and the liquor license is off the fucking charts.
How much that cost?
See, I don't recall exactly how much it cost, but I remember we were going over it for Filter downtown McKinney, the coffee shop. We were going over when we got the license. It was like, I want to say it was like, I don't even remember, $3,500 or something like that.
Per year.
Yeah. It was expensive, and I'm just like, seriously?
See, and I think that's what I'm not appreciating. There's probably so much cost that goes into
and it's
why they charge so much for their drinks.
Exactly, because you have to pay so much money out, and it's unfair. I think they're greedy. I mean, why?
The government?
Yeah, I mean, why did you have to pay that much for a liquor license? Oh, because anyone can do it. We want to make sure people are responsible. You know what? You make sure people are responsible by going to the Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission and getting your license and keeping your continuing education up. That's how you're responsible. Don't sit there and charge bars and restaurants so much money just so they can sell the product. Yeah, It's just criminal in my mind.
Well, if you think about it, let's say, because that was just beer and wine for years, right? Let's say
correct.
Let's say it was $3,500 or $3,600. That's $300 a month that you have to account for in revenue
before you even break even.
Correct. Yeah. Liquor, I imagine, adds on to that, right?
Oh yeah.
But here's the difference: liquor is more expensive. However, liquor yields the highest profit.
Correct.
The margin.
Incredible. Like, you got about 35 shots in a bottle. I think so, right? Is that right? 35 shots? I think there's between 30 and 38 shots. I want to say 38 shots in there, but whatever. 750 milliliters equals how many ounces? Yeah, whatever.
18, I think.
So,
right around
but the point is that it yields a lot. So if you buy a bottle for $20, so to speak, and you sell a shot for $5 and there's 30 in there, God, that is a huge profit margin.
Yeah, but they're charging like $8 to $12.
But I know, but
it's ridiculous.
Well,
and they're buying it from wholesalers, so they're paying retail for this stuff.
That. Yeah, you don't get much big. You don't get a very big break.
I'm not thinking a break, but I'm thinking of these allocated ones that you see in these. They're not paying aftermarket prices for that stuff. They're getting the McKenna 10-year for $40, which you should pay for it.
Right.
They're not paying $150 for it like we'd have to on the aftermarket.
You know what the other racket is with bars and restaurants is their POS system, the point of sales system.
Right.
Okay. So anyone can have a regular computer, all right, but a point of sale system, point of sale program, computers, all the shit lined up that swipe your credit card, they put in the order and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that stuff costs a lot of money because you just don't buy it. There's a service associated with that.
Yep.
I know.
Okay,
Yep.
So now every time you swipe your credit card, there are fees that are applicable to it.
Correct.
So they charge you to use the computers.
Yep.
There's that fee, and then there's a charge for every swipe you do.
Yep. We had that with our store.
But
there's so much competition in that field. I would think that you can find somebody that it doesn't charge that much.
Credit card companies, If you want to take credit card, that's why you see at these gas stations, gas is $3.18 a gallon.
Yeah. I get
Otherwise, it's this.
You can't control what the credit card. I mean, what 5%?
Well,
right?
it's also the transmission service. It's all of it. They nickel and dime you to shit to hell.
So there's just a lot of exorbitant fees in there. I think that is a pretty bad one too. That POS systems, there's Squirrel, there's God, I got a brain fart. Square.
I can't even remember what we used at the store.
There are so many, but they're all expensive
thousands.
as hell. I mean, they're so expensive. It's just like, why can't they just come up with a simple one that you just buy? Just buy it. You know, I mean, it's an easy thing. It's basically a tablet. You slap a little thing on there to swipe the card, or you have some umbilical with a USB thing for you take your card and it scans the little that fob feature on the credit cards. But it's the whole service. It's a beatdown.
Then you have to buy Then you have to buy QuickBooks or something similar. Then you have to pay for an accountant.
Yeah.
Unless you want to run your own QuickBooks, right?
Well, I mean,
depends how complicated.
And you got to deal with all your bartenders drinking all your liquor.
And insurance is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't want to open a bar anymore.
Yeah, forget it. I thought it was a bucket list, but I'd scratch that off.
I was surprised when we own our business, just the cost of just opening the door.
Right. Yeah.
Hiring people and shit like that.
Now, if you've got deep enough pockets and you can afford. Because you're going to need to
You'll probably take a loss first couple of years, right? I mean, at least.
Yeah, so what they say is that whatever it is in 4 years is what it is kind of the
is what it's going to be forever.
Kind of. It's kind of like that. That's the grind.
Interesting.
You know, so after a year, you know, you should be figuring things out. And you should be pretty comfortable where you're at. There's still room to grow. I remember I'm putting this at Filtered, for example. I mean, ours was kind of a rocky road, but we started closing that margin up pretty quick. We were like 30,000, minus 30,000, 20,000, 15,000. So every month, with all the revenue we were making,
you were chipping away at the loss.
Yeah, we had a big lump sum of money, and it was just slowly but surely decreasing. And the very last month where we had to give it away, before we got, we gave it away, and I think we were at that point we were like 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really close, but collectively it was tapped.
Right.
And it, frankly, as much as a kick in the nuts, it was to hand something that you created,
poured your heart and soul into.
Yeah, you give it to somebody, and we let it go, and we dropped it for a whole year. And we all moved on, and then all of a sudden we found out that guy that we gave it to, because we had that non-transferable lease agreement, we were still responsible for paying the rent on there, even though we transferred. Because some guy came in and says, "Hey, look, I'll buy you guys off, and we'll pay for everything that you all got up." Oh, well, he paid for like the first 2 or 3 months, and then after that, he couldn't pay anymore. So they called us up, and they were like, "Hey, this guy over here hasn't paid us in 6 months."
Wow.
And so we're like, oh.
Shit.
So, I get a phone call, and so I was just like, all right. And so I get on the horn. I start calling a bunch of people to get some employees back there. And sure enough, man, we went back to Filter, downtown McKinney Coffee Shop, with the sound recording studio with live music and visual artwork up all on the walls and awesome, up-to-date.
Nice plug.
Oh, yeah, thank you. As soon as we came back, we were in the green. All right, because we were at a skeleton crew, and we basically brought in some core people that worked for us that were solid.
So you resurrected the place.
The place came back to life, and my sister-in-law kind of assumed control of it. Before she was the primary owner, but she took a back seat,
right?
Which is argumentative, but I mean, I wouldn't have done it that way, but it is what it is, and you can't go back in time and fix that now. But
sure.
Now she is, and now we're kind of wanting her to back off a little bit more so she can live her life and be a little bit happier. I think it stresses her out too much.
Right. Oh, it's being you were alluding to that. Like when you own your own business, your heart and soul is poured into it, right?
It is 100%.
I mean, because you can't afford to, unless you've got multiple stores. And money coming in, you can't afford to hire a general manager. Or you can't hire a manager and all the staff to do it for you.
No. Yeah, Julie ran the store, managed it. That was her full-time job, and she didn't pay herself for over a year. She didn't get a salary, right? She just dumped it right back in. So, we almost had to move out of this place.
Yeah.
And luckily it worked out. We had 4 or 5 employees that worked for us, and it just got to the point where, like what Sean went through, you have this bucket of money.
You're hemorrhaging. Yeah.
And we got to the bottom of it. We're like, all right, we tapped my retirement. We tapped your retirement. We're going to have to go get a loan at this point if you want to keep this thing going.
Right.
And we're like, no, we're done. We don't want to dig ourselves a deeper hole than we're already
Cut your losses or
Correct.
Stick it out.
Correct. So we made the decision that it's time, right?
It's painful.
It is. It was
so painful.
And it still is to this day, because it's a blast being your own
boss.
Own boss. Like I'd work at JCPenney, then I'd come over there and I'd work from like 5 till 8.
Right.
My wife would.
But
come
you'd be
home.
Happy to.
I'd go in there and I was like, no one's
place.
telling me what to do.
That's right.
Right. Customer came in that pissed me off.
And there's a sense of pride and
it is
to have your own store.
It is. And I could sit in there and this is mine, right? And it is. It's very prideful, and it was a really good feeling, especially being over corporate, being jerked around over there, and then you come into your own place, and it's liberating.
So a customer comes in, you come out from the back room with no shirt on, and you're like,
hey! Just helicoptering it. I could have been part of the problem why we didn't make it. But,
really?
Yeah.
She was like, no, Jeff, stop it. Come back here. I got to make that special wax sauce.
Right.
Jeff, you can't be nude in front of the customers.
Right.
Not again.
Again. I've been watching the video. It doesn't look good.
There's video?
No, we did not have video.
You had no cameras and video?
At the time, no. Wi-Fi. This was in 2000.
It's before cell phones?
No. It was 2005-ish, 6-ish.
God.
So the technology
was
wasn't 100% there yet.
For that's early.
So,
that was early.
We didn't hang out with you a whole lot back then. Back then was like, I think the most I knew you as I came over because you had a pipe burst. 1, 2, Preston and the boys fucking spray painted the side of your house.
It's still there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Jeff's like, you're bored. Fucking stupid.
That's
I didn't even recall what he said.
That's the way you meet?
You hoodlum kid.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit, motherfucker.
I didn't say that. I think I phrased it as, our boys just spray painted the side of my house. Any idea on how we can get it off?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, power wash. And you said it's still there?
It's still on there.
You did nothing.
Well, I think you gave me some kind of graffiti remover.
Yeah.
And I tried. It didn't do shit.
Did you let it sit there?
Yeah, I just read it, did it, and it didn't work. And I was like, fuck it.
You shake the can good enough?
Yeah, this is well before I met you.
Did you do the 50,000 applications like I suggested?
No
wow.
shit.
You just say that on the
eventually
can?
just eats away the brick.
50,000.
It just eats away the
There's a hole.
Yeah.
You're like staring into your kitchen.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, honey.
Yeah,
the
but what's what the boys did?
disintegrated.
They're such idiots, man. They're fucking idiots.
I know.
It's like, well, I asked him, I was like, well, let's go through your brain. Ooh. You just thought you could paint the house? Right?
Dude, we could go through a million stories of idiocracy from our kids.
Oh,
Right?
yes. Yes. I don't want to know yet.
Yeah, even Austin. Everyone's learning life lessons. Austin learned his life lesson. Hey, but the bourbon was fantastic. The single barrel new Riff. I never heard what the proof was.
112.
112. So this is solid. And we did
Solid.
a 7.4. Jeff got it a 7, and you gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8, so we're going with an 8.
Well, 8's getting up there with the 1845 and all the Elijah Craigs that we really like.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm wearing my 1845 shirt.
I know.
You are.
Yeah.
I see that.
It's a sharp shirt.
Yeah, I've kind of taken the bottom up a little bit, pulled it up over my belly button, and made a little knot.
Yeah. It's
Matt?
It's an,
A little knot.
it's
Oh,
an
no.
attractive
Yeah.
look.
So you're showing your little abdomen there?
Another
Yeah, I'm
reason
gonna-
why we don't do video.
Your belly button?
Pull my shirt down, and so my cleavage shows out a little bit.
You're like those
yeah.
Mavericks dancers.
Get some Daisy Dukes.
Those male Mavericks dancers that have
Sean
the-
and Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, my 1845
on.
And a
bourbon
halter
shirt.
top.
No one
Yeah.
needs to even hear that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, today was a good day. I mean, the temperature was hot but palatable.
Absolutely. I went
Yeah.
on a motorcycle ride this morning.
Gotta dig it.
For about 90 minutes. It was
So
great.
it's the end of August. It's the very, very tail end of August. September's about to start.
Our next
Shit.
one will be
October's going to start.
Guys, Labor
Labor Day.
is this weekend.
that's right.
Halloween's going to kick in, and you're not invited. You are permanently off the fucking list. All right?
Yeah, that blew up on me last year.
August 29th.
Do I know the story behind that?
No, you were gallivanting this year.
You
All right,
were
well, let's
all
throw that
around,
next,
and
next
I was looking
podcast.
forward to the Halloween, and I had all these
I don't even remember what
things
happened.
set up, the speaker, everything was ready to rock and roll, and no show.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't even
You
Whatever.
no-showed?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
no-showed.
Well,
I own
at
it.
least you were invited.
This is true.
I'm still sour.
Yeah, he's owned. I don't even remember what happened, but I own that.
All right, thanks, Mr. Producer. It's the first half. It's August 29th. Dudes like us, I'm Sean.
I am Paul.
And I am Jeff.